For the past 2 years now, the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 has been both my primary and secondary camera for personal vlogs, car rollers, and most of my content creation. I still remember when it first launched, the internet practically exploded. The video quality was insane for its size, the advanced features like auto tracking were way ahead of their time, the microphone performance was solid whether you use the included RX receiver or not, and of course, the Pocket's portability made it incredibly easy to take it anywhere. I'll still crown this camera as being top dog for years to come, and honestly, it's hard to imagine anything beating it right now.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I'm Rich. At the time of this video, the DJI Pocket 4 isn't out yet. There's been a few rumors and reports says it's coming, but until it drops, all I can say is I'm definitely getting it when it comes out. I do want to glaze the Pocket 3 all that I can because I definitely believe this is just genuinely a great product. And many of you guys that do have this camera can probably say the same thing too. Let's just talk about the big stuff real quick. In my humble opinion, I think the Pocket 3 already beats a lot of these other traditional cameras, DSLR and mirrorless systems. Now, it's never going to be as sharp and as cinematic as those because those cameras physically have larger sensors and a larger lens to achieve that blurry bokeh shots, that supernatural, shallow depth of field and just sharpness or something, I guess. But I think what a lot of us have to understand is that the Pocket 3, what it lacks in size makes up in its crazy software. The heavy AI processing, the pixel binning, and the overall image tuning genuinely closing the gap in terms of video quality, considering how small this thing really is, which is why I think a lot of us prefer using this than something like a traditional camera. I mean, size does matter sometimes.
A lot of creators I follow and even my own friends have found insanely creative ways to use this camera. People are shooting full short films, real estate promos, and even wedding videos with it. I've personally seen it mounted on a 10-inch selfie pole for those wild third-person POV shots. For me, the most creative thing I've done was using it for car rollers on my Honda Accord and my dad's electric RAV4, which you should definitely check out on the channel after this. I grabbed a suction mount kit, slapped the Pocket in the back of my friend's car, then used Active Track to lock onto the cars while I drove in front of them. The footage came out unbelievably smooth.
It still blows my mind how easy it is. You don't need to be like some licensed videographer or hang out the back of a car trunk to get shots like those. It literally felt like FaceTiming someone with my phone propped up in the dashboard. You can kind of like track the car behind you.
And this is all thanks to the famous 1-inch CMOS sensor. It pulls in a ton of light, keeps the noise down, and handles low light scenes way better than a camera this small should. Highlights don't ever really blow out, shadows don't get crushed, it just exposes naturally and consistently, even when you're filming outside with bright skies behind you. Most of you guys should get an ND filter for it. It's basically like sunglasses for the camera. That way you can reduce the shutter speed and really achieve that cinematic effect of motion blur, which we all love from seeing movies and cinematic films. As for D-Log M, I haven't really started using it until earlier this year when I was doing content here on the channel. I mainly stuck with just having it set to fully original color profile because all I wanted to do was vlog my life with it. I didn't want to spend the time to color grade it if it was only just for my friends and family. I already do a little bit too much of that here on the channel, but when I did, shooting in D-Log really allowed me to transform this camera into something else, like those movies we see. Another thing I love about the Osmo Pocket 3 is just how portable it is. It's so small and lightweight that you can bring it literally anywhere. I've captured way more footage since getting this because it actually makes me want to go outside and shoot instead of debating whether I feel like dragging my main camera around.
For guys, you can literally split this into your pockets because some of our pants have, really big pockets, and for girls, this usually fits right into your purse, your bag. It's really that tiny. I've taken it into like malls, different restaurants, and all kinds of public spots where if I bought something like a full camera setup, I would have gotten stopped. People would have been staring at me. Also, down here in Philly, it's not the safest out there, I also think that people are a little less scared while having the Pocket 3, pointing at them to record, since, sometimes when people have like a camera or an iPhone pointing at them, they kind of like freeze up and they're like, oh, I don't know what to say, or they're put on the spotlight. This one's kind of low-key, you can kind of just like, flick it.
One of the things a lot of reviewers tend to overlook is just how good the onboard microphone is. I picked up the Creator Combo, which comes with the RX receiver, but even without it, the Pocket 3 has 3 built-in mics, one on each non-screen side. They record in omnidirectional stereo, cut down wind noise, and honestly sound surprisingly natural when you're within arm's reach. You'll hear a bit of ambient noise like traffic or planes, but the camera does a great job prioritizing your voice so your vocals stay clean and clear. If you want your audio even closer, more isolated, the included wireless receiver is perfect and it clips right onto your shirt. Alright, so here's what the microphone quality sounds like without anything, no receiver, no transmitter, no nothing. I'm just holding the camera how it is right now, probably an arm's length away from me. Wind is blowing, leaves are blowing. What do you think?
And now here's what it sounds like when I have the receiver on too. As you can see, it's clipped on right under my shirt. Some people like to have it here, or sometimes like to put it next to their jacket collar, which I'll do right now. Maybe this sounds a little bit different. I've seen some people try to put this thing on like their hat sometimes, or sometimes they even hold it directly in front of them like this. So I'm sure you guys seen that. Also, if you're wondering about the range, I'm gonna stand all the way over here real quick. I'm like all the way at the end. This gotta be like 75 to 100 feet away from me. I wonder what that's like in metric. Let me just do the conversion real quick. Now, for what I don't like about the Pocket 3, and something I really hope they fix on the Pocket 4, is the lack of proper weather sealing. This camera does not like water, dust, or humidity. Even the light splashes around me makes me paranoid. There has been plenty of times where I'm filming outside and suddenly it starts raining. I'm like instantly trying to scramble this into my bag or my pocket, trying to find shelter. I also don't feel comfortable bringing this to like dusty areas or the beach where it's like prone to sand. It could ruin like the gimbal movement and get stuck between like the sensor and all that. Overheating can be an issue too. If you're shooting in the summertime for more than like 20 some minutes, I had the sun come down on it. It was really hot to the touch, and I didn't get any warning signs, but I also felt like it might have shortened the lifespan of the camera a little bit. What if they threw in some type of like vapor chamber cooling on the Pocket 3 like we see on the iPhone 17 and the new Samsung S25 Ultra phones? Oh, that'd be kind of lit. Now, I'll still use a Pocket 3 for almost everything, for behind the scenes shots, car rollers, vlogs, and all of it. It's still a goated camera and I had zero regrets buying it. I don't think most of you guys do either. In my opinion, it's just hard to find real cons with this, but if you have any, just let me know down what you think DJI should improve upon for the next one. I remember there was one point in the US, the Pocket 3 was hit with the Chinese import tariffs and skyrocketed this thing to 30 to even half of the original market price, shooting the Creator combo to even $1,000 at one point, which is crazy. Let me know if you guys remember any of that. Also, I wouldn't mind having like hot swappable batteries. That would require, you know, a few screws or some cover to take some things out of here. That I feel like battery life has degraded over time just a little bit because I've been recharging this thing so many times. It is using a lithium ion cell in here, so they do degrade over time. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down below and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.